Hello once again, audience. It is me, your boy TPT, coming at you not live and not from Twitch TV. So, if you haven't seen already, Johan, the studio manager for Paradox Tinto, which is the branch of Paradox currently in control of the Leviathan DLC and obviously working on EU4, has released in a statement regarding Leviathan and how it turned out. So first of all, I would like to say I think this is a pretty good response overall. There definitely needs to be some clarification, and I think there has been for the most part regarding some of the stuff he said, because some of it in the initial post was a bit confusing. It didn't exactly make sense, or at least it sort of suggested things which aren't necessarily correct. And look, I like to see that they're owning up to the mistakes. Because, look, I know I said that it was obviously mainly corporate's fault, but, Johan does also have to take a bit of a leg here. Unfortunately, he's the studio manager. He probably does have a bit of say over, essentially over the DLCs. And it's good to see that, he's acknowledging that. He's realized, look, we fucked up. We're going to try and, obviously fix things. I do like here, he acknowledged that the DLC was rushed, because you can tell it was rushed, and I don't think they mentioned it specifically here, but you can tell it's pretty obviously implied that COVID definitely did cause quite a few problems. And like I said, like you can see here, they acknowledge that they should have waited until the team was completely ready before starting to work on the Leviathan DLC. And again, they also acknowledge that there has been quite a few poor DLCs as of recently, with Emperor, Golden Century, Leviathan, so on and so forth. I've just taken it down here to show only the dev posts, so that obviously we can keep it clear, because it did take me a lot of scrolling to find these particular posts, and then I found out that there's literally just a show dev post only button up here, which is a little annoying, but we'll make do with what we've got. So anyway, first of all, with the clarification for this line in particular, he says, we are partially changing our plans for the rest of the year. We'd originally planned to fix all legacy bugs before we stopped developing further expansions for EU4. Now we're accelerating these plans and also making sure that the community will be getting them frequently. So when he says this, essentially means that they were originally planning on fixing the legacy bugs once they'd finished developing the DLCs. However, instead what they're going to be doing is starting off by fixing those legacy bugs and then moving on to working on the DLC. They're not stopping creating DLC for EU4. That's not what the intentions were. Although obviously it did definitely come off to me that way initially. But he's clarified further down that they're still going to continue working on EU4 for a while. It's just that they're essentially rearranging their priorities, which I think is a good thing. I think they definitely should be prioritizing getting all of the bugs out right now before they start to produce more content, because more content is only going to lead to more bugs. Even if they had really high quality DLC releases, there would still be bugs within EU4, within Leviathan, because that's just the sort of game it is. You can't cover everything, and so it's definitely I definitely think it's the correct approach to take, and again they've also obviously said that they are planning on trying to release a number of patches for the game over the rest of the year. Look, I still have faith in Paradox Tinto. I haven't lost faith in them. I'm not gonna try and square the blame on any person in particular, but I still think that Paradox Tinto does have, like I said, Johan says, I still think they've got a bright future ahead of them. I'm really looking forward to whatever they put out. I just really hope that, obviously they do learn from these bugs, learn from these mistakes, because it was a very, very big mistake. And I heard that this has been, the kick in the rear that Paradox needs to sort of realize, hold on a second, I think we need to rethink some our priorities here. And it appears that that is at least what they have said they're going to do. Obviously, we can't guarantee that that's their actual intention. I'm obviously going to give them the benefit of the doubt, because I quite like Paradox. I've never pretended that I haven't. Even with this disappointment of a DLC, I still like their games. I still play them, and I'm still going to keep on playing them. So you guys don't have to worry about that either. But they've at least obviously expressed their intentions to that instead of working on expansions and fixing bugs, they're going to be exclusively fixing the bugs for a while yet. And as you can see here, like I said, let's see, this is what I mean. They're essentially moving, the bug testing, bug fixing forward, and moving the production of DLC back, which I think is also a good thing, because frankly, if they just kept on pumping out DLC, it probably wouldn't be a good look, if you ask me. So I do definitely think this is also the right move for them. I do think this is definitely what they should be doing. So obviously, I think it's for the best that this is how they're going to do it. I would be curious about this statement. Obviously they never would really admit this, but I'd be curious to see how much of their budget in that is actually put aside to QA testing, because I do sort of wonder about this. I get, they said that there's more people working with QA at PDS than there ever has been. But first of all, we never knew how many people used to work at QA at Paradox. We don't know how many people work at QA at Paradox. We don't know any of the structure, any of the the number of people doesn't specify how much they're working on. These aren't necessarily full-time QA and testers. Many of them are typical. In fact, QA testers in the industry have traditionally been on 0-hour contracts. So this statement feels it doesn't really. I don't really think it was their exact intention, but it can be seen as misleading. So you do have to keep that in mind. 0-hour contracts are very common with QA testers. So it does leave a bit up for discussion. But overall, look, I am quite happy with this response. I'm glad that, it looks like they might actually finally be, listening to the community. This was finally the kick in the balls that they needed. And obviously I'm going to be following the development, the continued development of EU4, should I say, quite closely. And I'm also going to be looking towards the new title they'll be announcing at ParadoxCon. I think they said it was the 27th, I believe, is when it'll be announced. So obviously I'll be following that quite closely as well. And yeah, look, overall, like I said, definitely a good speech. I didn't see too much corporate speak in there, which is good as well. It sort of makes it show, a bit more honesty. And I think that's really obviously what we want. We really need transparency at this point in time, because I would say trust in Paradox is at an all-time low at the moment. So hopefully they've learned their lesson from this, and hopefully things will only look brighter from here. So anyway, guys, I hope you have enjoyed. I know this was only a short video today, but obviously I just really wanted to give my opinion on this, because I think it is very important, as obviously I'm also a predominantly EU4 content creator. And I, like I said, I just wanted to give my thoughts on how they're handling this, and at least again, judging from what they're saying, I think this is the correct route to approach it via. And so yeah, I'm quite happy with it. So anyway, guys, I'll see you all next time. Peace.